It is recording right now. I don't need this. I am just going to put this up. We have a ton of stuff to get through, so let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have a ton of updates for you. What was I going to say? There are a couple of stuff that we need to get your feedback on. And Lindsay, will you be talking about the comms webinar for the rest of December? Do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll add that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Before I dive into my deck, I wanted to introduce you guys to Sarah Bacon. She will be helping me with the CSBG CARES and an FRC. She has joined us today. So hi, Sarah. Sarah, this is all my Community Action Agency grantees.
Good morning, everyone.
We're the troublemakers.
They are the roundabouts. They are rambunctious, pushy, but still wonderful.
Nice meeting everyone.
You will see Sarah's email, like she will be like when she has to chase you guys down for RFRs or any stuff, you will be seeing her name quite a bit. So I just wanted to make this introduction. So let's dive in. Oh no, it's not moving. Okay. Federal updates. So, as you know, the continuing resolution has been extended till February 18th. And, ooh, hang on, somebody's waiting. Sarah, do you have access to who's in the lobby by any chance?
I do, yeah.
Can you let them in?
Yep.
Thank you. So, continuing resolution has been extended. The 200% FPL has been extended, and that applies to your FY21 supplemental, your FY22 CSBG base, and your CARES. However, and this is a huge however, NASCAP just sent out a memo today, and I actually have this memo in the slide. And they understand like the language is extended to HR 6119. However, they did say that since OCS has not released the official interpretation, it may be problematic to continue using 200% FPL at this stage. Does anyone have any questions about that?
But of course. So what does that mean? 200, we can't use 200 for base and supplemental, but it's still okay in CARES?
You cannot use 200, well, CARES is 200% no matter what, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. Like until OCS has released their dear colleague letter, it may be like, I don't think they're gonna go back and be like, no, you cannot use it. But unless they do their official interpretation, we should hold off.
So what does that mean for individuals that we may have in progress now?
Oh.
Sorry.
No. I mean, you guys are the front line. Let me email Maxine.
Okay.
Let me email Maxine. I'll take the NASCAP because it just got released right now. It might be just OCS is releasing their DCL today or tomorrow. I mean, they're so bureaucratic. For now, let me email Maxine and see what she has to say about it until and then I will update you guys. I just wanted to let you know this is what NASCAP's memo said.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
Leslie wrote in the chat, she's trying to get her audio to work, but she just said, why would OCS come out and say this?
They usually do. OCS usually sends out like a interpretation, like, you know how NASCAP says, this is how we interpret it. OCS does their official interpretation too. Did that answer Leslie's question, Lindsay?
She said it's against the CR.
It's against the continuing resolution. Well, they're not going to say no. They're not going to disagree. NASCAP is saying wait until OCS releases their interpretation. I doubt that OCS is going to go against the CR. I just wanted to let you guys know, and then I will be following up with Maxine. She might say we're releasing our interpretation today. Lindsay, you're like, my little screen right now is at the bottom. Is Leslie okay? Can I move on?
Yeah, she hasn't added anything else in the
Okay.
chat. She said, feel free to move on.
Come on, Leslie, get your audio fixed. Okay, so as you know, the Build Better Act has passed the House and it's sitting with the Senate right now. Janine, you are requesting control. I am assuming you did that by mistake. And
I didn't mean to do that.
it's okay. I assumed you did it by mistake. This CNBC.com really breaks it down in bullet points of exactly what's in that bill. And in case you guys want to take a look at it, OCS released another DCL, I think on Monday, and they are hosting one webinar. And I strongly encourage you to register. I will be sending it out, that email, in my follow-up email after this meeting. It's about how to use, how to coordinate and use the funding. And I really want Nevada represented. So please register. The webinar is this Monday, and it is a meeting with the Treasury Department as well that they've organized. It's almost like a town hall from what I understood. Questions?
I don't know if this is anything similar to, we had a meeting with Congressman Horsford and the Deputy Secretary of Treasury last week.
Oh, how did that go?
It was kind of in a town hall format. They were trying to get information from local on the ground nonprofits, on what was going on, talk about the Build Back Better Act, and just get a general idea of how things were going. Of course, I brought up HR 5129, but they also talked about some of this other funding that's coming. I don't know if the LHEAP and ERA stuff is part of that, but it's mostly around the infrastructure and how they plan to get that distributed around the state. So.
Oh, that's so interesting. Was that recorded, Lawrence?
It was not.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm assuming the Monday meeting might be very similar, although they didn't talk about infrastructure though. Speaking of infrastructure, if you're curious what Nevada's infrastructure investment is, that fact sheet does such a great job of breaking it out. And I wanted to share that with you guys as well. CSBG has a new logo, which I posted right here. What do you guys think about that? It's supposed to be, they're saying it's quite dynamic. It represents the dynamics of the community service block grant. What do you guys think?
Can't change it now.
No.
Is that national? Is that a national logo?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's still in the approval. I think now they're just kind of sharing it with all the state reps. They didn't ask for opinion or anything. But what do you think, Mary Jane?
Well, I think that, CSBG is a grant. The program is really a community action agency, or something like that. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. We'll never use it on
Leslie
anything.
is loudly nodding.
I'm sorry, who was that?
This is Leslie. I finally got on.
Yay!
Absolutely agree, Mary Jane. I just shake my head going, why did we spend all our time on this? But anyway.
Time and money, though. Imagine the money, like who they hired to come up with this dynamic.
Right.
Anyhow. Oh no, this is being recorded.
Logos, can I ask something? You know, you guys, I think, I don't know who created it, the little Nevada Huggy Heart logo that you're using. And I think that, Lindsay, you used that, and on the side you have NCAA. Can we each get a logo with, instead of NCAA, our agency name? And kind of use that statewide?
Hey, we had it first.
I know you did.
Yeah, you did.
And I was about to acknowledge that I think Lawrence came up with it, but I mean, I kind of like that. I mean, I've just been using the NCAP one, but I think that would be kind of cool. Anyway, sorry. Just throwing it out
Yeah.
there.
No, I agree. I think it would be good for consistency of branding throughout the state.
Hey, you know, one of the things we're doing, we're getting lapel pins that only have the Nevada with the Huggy Heart on it.
Oh,
Oh.
that's
So
really
it's universal and everybody knows. Yeah.
You should
That's
you should
nice.
send
Share
us
the
some,
love.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Mail us some of those pens.
Yeah, we're gonna order a couple hundred. So
Oh, cool, man. Do that.
okay.
All right, guys, can I move on? Do you have any other questions? Okay. This is the grant management updates. The ERPA funds are available to support Nevada childcare. They have a portal on DHHS. I don't know. I mean, that if you click on this, the page that you land on will have other more explanation, but I wanted to just let you guys know this for those of you that provide childcare services. Okay, so this is our programmatic update. So FY20, we are closing it out from our unit, and there was $24,000 in pass-through left on the table, which is not good, but it's not bad. I mean, at least it's not 50. Questions? Okay.
How much was last year?
FY20 or 21?
21. Sorry.
How much was last year? Do you remember, Tisa?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I can look it up for you because my recon meeting is next week and I can look it up for you.
I was just curious.
Okay. Do you want me to look it up and then just?
Yeah, it's fine. I was
email
just
you?
curious if you knew.
But I will, moving forward, I will always give you the updates and stuff so you guys know. Okay, the CSBG supplemental allocation. So I've started working on them today. I'm actually working on Leslie's right now. I don't think all of you have sent your stuff in. So you will be getting pushy emails from me next week because I'm going to go through and see who has. So look out for that. But here is the supplementals. Now, if you look at the bottom, community chest declined to accept the supplemental balance. And I spoke to Eric and I asked him if he had any preference on where it would go. It was around $1,500. And he said to the agency that had the lowest balance, and that turned out to be White Pine. Any questions?
Very noble of him. That's great. Actually, I think it was a wonderful idea.
Yeah. He said that Eric couldn't join us today, but he said in terms of the work that they have to put in, $1,500 doesn't cover the back end work that they have to do with all the RFRs, which is totally understandable. But I really like this transparency, showing you the full allocation. Do you guys like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Thanks. I hear crickets, so I can't see your faces, so please say yes or no. Okay, so the org standards, I have completed all the initial check-in. I have sent you guys the selected standard emails. I've already started receiving emails for the selected standards. I will tell you guys, we have jumped I think 4 to 5 points this year. And Lindsay and I are going to sit and discuss next steps. And then in one of the January comps webinar, I will show you how each of you guys ranked in scores. If this is something you guys would rather not want me to show, just offline email me and I won't. But I will leave that. If you guys don't want me to show you the full transparency of how each organization ranked, just offline email me and I'll scrape that idea. But overall, we are looking good. I still want to get, I still think we can do better. And I'm hoping with the flurry of training that Lindsay has in store for us, FY22, we will shoot it out of the ballpark. Annual reports. Everyone has responded to my memo. It is tied down with a nice bow. I will be starting with the memos earlier next year, the annual report memo. And so when OCS releases the smart forms, which they're apparently supposed to do this December, and I send it out to you guys, I will take a month to review all the modules up front and then send and do the memos right now. So all of that, I'm not explaining well. It will be done earlier next year, so that, because I've noticed that a couple of CAAs in response to my memos revised and submitted their modules all over again. And that was a bit of a headache because then I had to, in OLDC, which is the federal case management system, I had to rescind Nevada's submission in order to, it was a headache. So I want to avoid that. OCS has already reviewed module 1 for Nevada and they've accepted it. They had a few questions which I addressed and they're fine with it. I believe I'm waiting for feedback on module 4 from them. So I will get back to you guys on that. I have updated the CSBG calendar, which I will attach to my summary email so y'all can have a copy. And monitoring, I have reached out to half of you guys about setting up your schedule for monitoring for next year. All 12 of you are up for monitoring, and this is the schedule right now. White Pine in Jan, Churchill in March, CSA in May, EOB in July. And if you're wondering what happened with all the months in between, I'm doing the FRCs during those months. Questions?
Question about the annual report.
Yes.
Will there still be split reports for CARES versus CSBG?
Yes.
All right.
That's going to continue. Questions? Okay.
Presumably it won't continue if we're spent out, right?
Say that again, Leslie.
If we completely spend out, we won't have to continue, right?
No. Well, do you think you'll completely spend all your CARES bucket next year?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what, because Carson City and Douglas County did not initially accept their CARES, so they accepted it much later last year. So they had no data for the CARES modules. However, OCS still wanted me to submit a module, it's a blank module. So that's what you'll probably have to do. Just submit a blank module because they're so finicky. Does that answer your question, Leslie?
Yeah, it does. Obviously, that just makes no sense because if you're spent, you're not reporting on anything. You're not doing a plan for anything because you're spent. Does that make sense?
No, I get it, but OCS is a different animal. Okay. Just wanted to do my pipeline, smart forms, be on the lookout for that. And supplementals. Again, I don't think I've received everyone. I know White Pine and Churchill has more time because I asked for their supplemental later, but everybody else should have their supplemental submitted to me. Org Standard, you have till end of this month. And given that we're doing, like, I feel like I'm very connected to you guys, I want to go ahead and cancel all the quarterly all hands on deck meeting. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, it's okay. Or play it by ear until then.
Okay. If you guys want, the next one would be scheduled for March or April. If in January you're like, no, we want to do a quarterly, I can put that on the calendar again. This is the all hands on deck. This is not the one-to-one that I have with you guys. Okay. Here is what the updated calendar look like, and you'll get a copy, obviously. And I know Mike Lynn is on the call, and I just wanted to spotlight Lyon County because they've been doing so many things up there. Mike Lynn, do you want to say a little bit? Were you a part of this?
I hope so. I've been with the county for 5 years.
Okay.
So I am the longest standing case manager to work under adult services in Lyon County for that department. So yeah, Lyon County, we put together the community expo. We had an amazing turnout. The vendors came out and just supported the community in general. With some of the funding, we were really able to provide some of the resources for those that, you know, are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. It was really good. Some of the other things that were purchased with the funding were budget planners to help individuals get organized and keep track of appointments that they might have in terms of getting back to work, appointments to support stabilization in regards to housing and utilities, things like that. So yeah, Lyon County is doing a great job. My colleagues are working hard, and Heather is definitely always keeping us in the loop in terms of salary allocation and different numbers changing. And I'm like, oh, can't things just be black and white? I like perfecting black and white, but yeah, change is the only thing that's consistent. So thank you.
Yay, thank you so much. And that's so cool. One day I hope to attend one of your events. Thank you. Questions before I hand it off to Lindsay. Oh, I also wanted to say, I don't know, Linz, are you going to talk anything about the ELogic Dashboard?
I was thinking about that because I know we were going to bring it up in December, but now we're switching our webinar. So yeah, we could talk about it now, or we could talk about it at our board meeting. We could give a little teaser.
I was thinking we could totally do a teaser now, and then I'll just leave it up to you. But trust me, guys, you're gonna love that. So you do the teaser during your presentation, yeah?
Okay.
All right, it's all yours.
All righty. Sounds good. Let me just grab my PowerPoint here. Okay, can we see it okay? Yep,
good.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. So we've got a few trainings coming up, so I just kind of want to go through some of those dates with everybody, just make sure everybody's on the same page with what's happening with the association and the partnership. So the first thing is the Management and Leadership Training Conference is coming up February 2nd through the 4th. The association has some funds to cover the cost of registration fees. So if this is something that you're interested in or something that you would like one of your staff members to attend, please reach out to me and let me know, and I can definitely help you, work through how to get that reimbursement for the cost of the registration. Really, really excited. We've got our trauma-informed training coming up. We've got those dates scheduled. I know I sent out save the dates for these, but I just wanted to touch base on these again, just to make sure that everybody knows it's happening, because it's going to be fantastic. I'm really, really, really excited So first of all, we've got our ACEs training from on January 7th and the 14th. This is going to be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is for all staff members. Anybody that wants to attend, please, the more the merrier. And then we've got our kickoff meetings. There's going to be 2 of them. We split these up because one day, 8 hours is just way too long to be on Zoom. So we thought 2 Fridays, the 28th and the 4th is what we decided, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. as well. The save the dates that I sent out, you need to register for all 4 sections. I know that's a little redundant, but because it was split into 4 different days, you just have to go in, click the link. I believe it's just your name and your email, and that's it. So if anybody did not do this or did not see that, let me know, and I can send out another email with that. But it's just important that we register for all 4. It gives the consulting agency a better heads up and a better head count on who's attending.
Lindsay, I have a quick question on that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Is there going to be outside work on that too? Or is
So,
it just going to be the virtual training? I mean, I'm just trying to stagger staff time.
yeah, so it's going to be these 4 training sessions. And then afterwards, we're going to be split into different groups, and we're going to work one-on-one. Well, each agency is going to work one-on-one with a trainer. And then they're going to be sticking with us for the next year to come. So during that time, we're going to schedule probably like 5 to 6 different calls with our trainer. They're going to give us some work that we're going to do within our agencies. We've got like a mid-year call scheduled. At the end of the year, we've got another call scheduled. So this is very much just like the beginning of a whole year process.
Right. No, that I understand, but I just don't want to get hit like we did with the Roma training. And all the staff that we send all of a sudden has, 10 hours of homework a week on top of the actual training. So that's what I was kind of looking at. But
gotcha. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be that intense as far as, I know Roma's kind of a lot outside of class. I know we're definitely going to have to do, a deeper dive into our agencies to look at different components of trauma to see where we're at. But I don't believe it's going to be that time intensive.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking at homework.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And,
right,
and I know, so the way that it was explained to me is we'll kind of do a bit of an assessment into our agencies initially, figure out where we need to go, where we want to go throughout the year, and then we'll be checking in with our assigned coaches during that time to make sure that we're accomplishing what we want to accomplish. But it didn't sound like 10 hours additional homework per week.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Lindsay, do I have to register even though I just plan on like listening in the background?
I mean, you could register just to give them a heads up on who's going to be there. Okay. Yeah.
And then could you also add Sarah? I'll send you her email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. We've got a cultural competency training coming up February 8th, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This is going to be done by Deborah Campbell. So she also did our strategic planning. And she's offered to do this training for us as well. So I sent out a save the date with this. You should be receiving more information on this soon. We're going to do a pre-training survey and such, but I just want to make sure coming into the new year that we've got these marked on our calendars. Same with the board governance training. This is April 5th, same time, 10 a.m. to 12:30. Anybody that wants to come to either of these, any of these trainings, really, I just want to let you know that it's not just for board members, but for anybody within your agency that wants to attend. Please come. More than happy. We'd like, more the merrier. The partnership has some awesome webinars coming up this month that I just want to shine a light on. We got just a kind of a basic introduction to community action webinar coming up. If you have any new staff members, this could be kind of an interesting thing for them to jump on. Registration for all of these webinars are on the partnership website. Feel free to check it out and sign up. If anybody's interested in becoming a certified community action professional.
Sorry, Leslie has a question, has her hand raised.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I can't see anybody.
I just want to go back. Lindsay, can you, I know you did for the trauma. Can you send out calendar invites for the rest of those trainings so we have them on our calendar?
I sent out save the dates for cultural competency and board governance.
Oh, you did?
I did, but I mean, let me know if you guys are getting them, because if not,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
not
I'll go back.
good.
I didn't see that one, but I will let you know. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's important that you guys are getting those, so please let me know if not, and I'll take a deeper dive into that.
Lindsay, I don't have that on my February 8th.
I don't think I invited you to those two initially, but I'll do that now. Sorry.
Yes, please.
I know you want to be there. I sent you that message and I was like, I wonder if she wants to come to these.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's see what else we have. Certified community action. There's a webinar coming up on weatherization funds with Habitat for Humanity, December 22nd, if anybody's interested in attending that. I know a few people reached out to me, so I want to bring this up to everybody again. If anybody's interested in enrolling in the Pathways to Excellence, they have a new cohort starting in January. So please, take a deeper look at this if this is something that you want to do with your agency. It sounds very fantastic, and I believe the January cohort is starting on the 31st. I can look into that date more specifically, but I know Mary Jane, you had asked me about this. So the registration for this is on the partnership website, and I can send you another email if you'd like. NASCAP is having their winter training conference February 28th through March 3rd. So just to save the date on this, if it's something that you're interested in attending, registration's not open yet, but maybe mark it in your calendar if you want to save the date for that. Next thing I want to talk about and bring to everybody's attention, and I know a few of us have had this conversation, but OCS recently released their funding forecast for our RPIC for FY23 already, which seems a bit early, but here we are. And they're changing the way that they want to do things. So this forecast is not quite set in stone yet, but what they've proposed to do, originally our RPIC grant was $4.4 million, and we had 11 different grantees, so each different region. And they're proposing to cut it down to 2.75 million and just have one grantee. So that's a 38% decrease in funding, which is pretty substantial to all state associations and to our ability to provide training to everybody. So it's a bit shocking. The state associations, we've been having a lot of meetings. We have a meeting tomorrow with David Bradley to get some more information, but I wanted to let you know that that's out there. The association, we've sent a letter to OCS. Connie and Tiso were so gracious enough to write a letter, and we've sent that as well. The region has sent a letter. I believe all state associations have sent letters, all regions have sent letters. So OCS is getting pretty inundated with letters from us, just, asking them to maybe reconsider this. We're not quite sure the reason behind them wanting to cut the funding. It's a little up in the air, and there's, of course, with this, a bunch of language flying around, different rumors flying around as to why it might be, but we don't know anything set in stone. So
Lindsay, on the last call that we had about the Region 9 conference, Cynthia did bring up that the director of OCS said that there was no intention of cutting our pick. So we'll see. So maybe the letters are working. So just so everybody knows that that's kind of the latest update.
Yeah, and it's interesting you said that. I got that email last week, Friday, where somebody else had a conversation with David Bradley, and he had talked to Dr. Howard about it as well, and there was no. They said that there was no nobody wanted to cut the funding either. So we don't really know what's going to happen. There's been some language out there that nobody wants to change our funding, but nothing is set in stone. All we have is that official funding forecast that was sent out. So fingers
If they
crossed
don't want
are
to
working.
change it, if they don't want to change it, then why decrease the funding? Like that makes
Right.
that's like you're talking
Right.
out to, you know, to I don't know what that phrase is. I mean, that just makes no sense.
So Lindsay,
You
here's
can
a
out of both
question.
sides of your mouth. That's the word you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know
So-
what they're gonna do.
So
Go ahead.
Lindsay, is this a, I mean, I know you don't know, but I don't think these kinds of decisions get made in a vacuum at the LCS level. So is this if we had the ability to talk to our congressional delegation about what's going on,
Mhm.
I mean, I can put a word in.
Lawrence, I think you're wrong. This is a vacuum in OCS, what we're being told. So
Really?
yeah.
How does that
Leslie,
happen?
do you know why? What prompted this?
We don't. That's, my question was, where is the money going? Why do they do this? Who needs the money? Who's it going to? And nobody knows. So,
Well, if you're spending $2 trillion on other legislative packages, how are you cutting 2 million here? And
Mhm.
Like what's
is it-
what's the thinking behind
obviously,
that?
I think they want to give it out to the states, but and to us, as providers. But I don't
Like
know.
pass through?
I don't know that they understand the importance of our pick and what it does. I think they now actually do based upon the letters they received. So if anything else, I think this was a really good education piece for them. I think those letters made a big impact. So the fact that the doctor came right out and said, hey, we had no intention of doing this, then that means something's working at all. No matter what, we educated Dr. Howard on what that money does do.
So you think the pushback? Now they're kind of like scrambling. I will tell you, I think 3 weeks ago when Lindsay flagged this, I reached out to my OCS counterpart, and we have a very tight relationship. And I asked her up front, and I kind of said the same blurb that was in that letter, and radio silent. Like she addressed other emails I sent, but not that one, which was mind blowing.
Interesting.
So I do wonder, I hope they don't, but it just seems so bizarre that they would go down this road in the first place.
I agree.
Go ahead,
And I'm looking forward to our conversation tomorrow. We've got the state association meeting, and David Bradley will be on. So if he has any further information to share, I'll make sure I let you guys all know. But wanted to give you an overview on how that's looking and what we've been working on to kind of counteract that. So fingers crossed they make some changes and our funding goes back to normal. We shall see. Okay. Region 9 convening is coming up in Las Vegas, February 23rd through the 24th. I'm going to send out a save the date for that today as well, so everybody will have that on their calendars. Registration's not open quite yet, but it will open soon, so you guys will all be in the loop when that happens. Really looking forward to that.
And just another plug.
Yep.
They'll cancel it if we don't have enough. So if anybody is at all, I mean, they sent out the questionnaire, the Google, whatever, asked for input. They're really trying to bring in some great speakers. So I think it would behoove us to show our support, certainly for our colleague down in Vegas. So if you have any desire to attend, I'm telling you, this would be the time to attend.
Yeah, I know they've asked us for some background information on entertainment and venues and that kind of stuff. So should be fun.
Should be fun. Yeah. And it's going to be hybrid as well for those of you that can't be there in person. So more information on that to come. Next board meeting is going to be January 13th. We're going to have it at Carson City in person. Very excited. Just wanted to clarify this a little bit. I sent out a save the date But just some clarification. So those of you that are going to attend in person, very much looking forward to that. Mary Jane has offered to host and offered to provide lunch. So we're going to do lunch at 11:30. Our webinar is going to start at 12:30, and then our board meeting will start at 1. Those of you that aren't going to be able to attend in person, just use the same Teams link that we're on right now for the webinar at 12:30, and we'll just stay on through the board meeting. So just wanted to clarify that a little bit. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing everybody in person. I know it's been quite a while since we've been together, so if you can make it, that's fantastic.
Lawrence, are you coming for the board meeting?
No, I'm going to try and make it up there, even though it's going to be snowy and blustery.
Are you? Oh, good.
It's not Detroit. So yeah, I just want to add, if I can get a head count and everything, then I can know how I want to do lunch. So please let me know.
Mary Jane, Connie, and I will be there.
Okay, great.
Leslie too.
I think we'll have a pretty good turnout. Fingers crossed. So yeah, this is my last slide. So that brings me into our next comms webinar. Tisa and I were talking this morning. We had one scheduled for, gosh, the 22nd or the 23rd.
23rd.
Either way, yeah, we know it's holiday time.
No,
a lot of
23rd.
people are traveling right before Christmas. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel that if everybody's comfortable with that. And then we will go ahead and just plan on getting everybody together at this board meeting, January 13th. This will be our next communication with everybody. If anything comes up that's really important that everybody needs to know, we'll send out a joint email or a separate email to everybody. But we just figured there's just a lot going on and a lot of people are with their families and going places. So enjoy your holidays and yeah, be safe.
I mean, I mean, the caveat is if anything occurs that needs immediate attention, we will do a joint newsletter, but it's on the 23rd. Now, if y'all still want us to do the comms webinar, we will do it, but we leave it up to you guys.
Yeah.
So say something now or hold your peace.
Danger, Will Robinson.
I don't hear anyone saying, please hold it. So we're just going to go with it is canceled.
Perfect. Sounds good. And then
ELogic Dashboard.
Yeah, so our ELogic Dashboard, we're very excited. Tisa and I have been working pretty closely with Ben and Tiffany, and we've got a really great demo that we're very excited to show you. So hopefully we'll be able to log in and show you that during the board meeting in January. But, you know,
Yes.
It shows real-time data on what's going on. We can choose the dates that we want to see, certain demographics for, you know, we can choose specific agencies. We can do statewide data as a whole. You know, it's not quite to the place that we want it to be, but it's a great start. And there's a lot of really good potential there. We'll be able to print monthly reports. We'll be able to print annual reports. Eventually, we'll be able to see data from years past and then watch trending data throughout time. But yeah, it's really turning out to be very exciting. So the framework's all there and the base is looking.
So Lindsay and I sat and we selected like demography data that we want to look at. Then we did services, overall services, and also like granular services. And we also did outcomes. And this is what we visualize. There are still changes that we're asking as we're looking at every single thing. Now, in January, you guys are going to get the dashboard as it stands. So Lindsay and her and my dashboard mirror each other. And if you guys want any changes, ELogic will be able to accommodate those. Now, having said that, each of the CAAs will be given access to your own Looker dashboard. So Lawrence will have access to his own Looker dashboard where he will only see EOB's data and so forth and so forth. but Lindsay and I, obviously Lindsay and both will see the overall states of performance.
Mhm.
Can we also have access to the state? Because I'd love to be able to do comparables.
Mm.
Because then you would have access to the other CAAs data.
Oh, it's not aggregated. It's
So can you do an aggregation and send it out to us, Tisa? Because I agree with
Yes, we will. We will totally
Yeah.
do that every month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would be the answer.
Yes,
I
I
that
think
is the
that would
whole
be
point.
fantastic.
Every
Yeah.
month we will have a little snippet of the deck, and I haven't really talked to Lindsay, and I will confer how we visualize, but we will look at the data every month and look at the numbers. So maybe 5 minutes out of this hour, pop it on the screen, and you guys can see how y'all are performing. Now, I do want to say, guys, data issue, like the dashboard is only as rich as the data you put in. So if you come up and say your data doesn't look right, my question will be, are you entering data correctly? And then I will sit down with ELogic and you and see what's going on in the back end. See if it's an ELogic issue or if it's a user issue. So, you know, everyone's going to be under the scrutiny once this dashboard goes live. I mean, it is live once it's, you know, revealed to you guys in a grand revealing in January.
so
But
you
we're
know
so
that's
excited.
I think it would be
exactly
nice.
where I was going.
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So in the past, we know that the way that ELogic has measured particularly services for each of the different community action agencies was slightly different. Have they resolved that issue so that all services for each of the agencies are measured both with the same descriptions and field names?
Yes.
Okay.
They have, in our last conversation, they have their own lexicon, and they said that they are actually going through, and this is, the onus is on them to fix that. And they said
Right.
they're going to have this all done. What did he say? Like, didn't Ben say like they're unrolling it, like they're doing it as
January,
now?
I believe.
And then
Yeah.
Lindsay and I worked on a CSBG lexicon that we basically took NASCAPs. I just have a little bit more stuff to do, but I will be sharing that with you guys, hopefully by February. Just bear with me, guys. There's just so much on my plate. But all the lexicons should be identical.
Okay.
And if there are any issues, Lawrence, you know, obviously point it out to me so I can do something about it.
Well, I want to make sure that as we move through this process and we're able to get better reporting and at least see quasi real-time data, I don't know any other way to put this, that I'm beating up the case managers well enough to make sure that they're entering in the right stuff in the right places. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How they explained it to us was that bus passes, EOB might have its certain way that they put it in. Lyon County might say buses or like month. I mean, you know, like how you guys may have different, but it's all going to go ELogic. The system's all going to consider it under bus passes.
okay.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of work to do to clean that up a little bit, but it's being addressed. And, you know, I don't think it'll take too long for that to be much clearer than it is right now.
But we have a
Yeah.
dashboard, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Woohoo! We've been fighting for it tooth and
And
nail for quite some time.
I know, and apparently it also, like, you can extract the information, but it'll also extract like ready decks for you. So you can literally take those infographics and slap it on your decks for presentation. So I will believe it when I see that feature, but Lindsay and I did play around with some of the extraction.
Yeah. And I think it'll be a great component to add to the webinars, honestly, to throw in monthly data
So
yeah,
statewide.
does this also imply that we'll be able to get quasi-filled module 2, 3, and 4 reports from this?
Oh, so I thought I addressed this before. Module 2, because that has the financial and stuff, that is on you guys to submit to me. on your own once I give you. Module 3, not all of y'all do Module 3, half of you guys do it. That is also on the agency's responsibility. Module 4, because now all of the data is in ELogic. So when I share the smart forms, I will copy Ben. ELogic will extract and fill in all the data from Module 4. And then, for example, Lawrence, they will do EOB's Module 4 and then share it with you for you guys to do the data quality assurance check. I will only accept Module 4 from you, Lawrence. I won't accept it directly from ELogic.
Okay. So what's the comparable there though? Is it, if ELogic sends me a Module 4 that I say is either under or over valued and I make corrections, when you pull your comparables at the state level,
It should have your corrections, right?
Right, but we're going to have some mechanism within ELogic to be able to go in and fix that.
But wouldn't the system itself start generating that? Because it's just updating the data flow.
I don't know what magic they're doing on the back end, but I hope so. Right, because if they send me something that says ELogic says you guys only service 5,100 people, but when I go back and do my reconciliation and pull from finance and show that I've served 7,500,
But that isn't the onus that ELogic has to go back and update that system, because you'll show like these are the gaps in people that have served that you haven't identified.
Right, but by the time it depends on when you pull the report to do the comparable, right? So if we're in the middle of that or before that,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
there needs to be some kind of flag or something that says contested or in progress or.
Oh my gosh. Lawrence, can you send me what you just said in an email?
Okay.
So that I could shoot it over to Ben, and Lindsay, I'll copy you, and then we can see what they have for that. Don't forget, Lawrence, because you're such a techie person.
Doing it now.
Perfect.
Cool. So yes, guys, so this is essentially the only webinar for December. Thank you. Lindsay, do we have anything else?
No, not off the top of my head. Any questions? Okay.
I will send a quick email out right after with the DCL to register for that meeting, town hall meeting on Monday. Please register. It's really important that Nevada is represented. I will be on that call too, and then the meeting recorded thing, it takes some time on my end, my techie people, so that'll probably be sent out on Monday. All right, thank you so much, guys. Still like good turnout, but I feel like one day we'll get to the full 12 CAAs representation. So thank you, happy holidays. Thank you so much.
All right,
See you
thanks,
in
guys.
January.
Thank you. Bye.